what do you declare a tripping penalty?
Right.
You know what I mean? How do you declare it's a tripping penalty? Okay, so starting in 2023, tripping is now a personal foul, 15-yard penalty, and is subjected to additional discipline, whether it is called or not called on the field by officials. What is tripping? The use of a leg or a foot to obstruct any opponent, including a runner. So this is the rule that a lot of people are complaining about. And I'm going to be one that's going to complain about it. Let's say you tackle somebody and he doesn't go down, all right? And you're laying down and he trips on your foot, okay? He's running and your foot is down and he trips on your foot. Is that tripping? Is that using your leg or your foot to get in the way of something where it's a 15-yard penalty? And this is a problem. This has been a problem with the NFL. They add these new rules. And I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect the players. They're trying to set an understanding of way these rules are going to move forward in the league. And it's affected the league and in the speed of the game, especially with some of these defensive rules which affected the Jet games a couple of times this year. I didn't understand some of these rules. And I understand what they're doing. I understand what the NFL is trying to do. They're trying to set the pace of the game where the game will stay at a pace where fans will see more offense. The problem here is when you look at the tripping and all these different penalties that they've been calling, it has affected the game. It has affected the speed of the game. As much as they think that it's not, it has affected the game. That's what a lot of the players are going to have to get the rules from each referee before the game. Because if you don't know, and this happened a lot in the NFL last year. It really did. The tripping calls and stuff like that. And they didn't really call them because they didn't know how to really concur what a tripping call is. Now they're coming out with these tripping calls with if you use your leg or your foot to obstruct any opponent. But define that. How does that define a play when a running back gets tripped? You know what I'm saying? And a running back is the one that breaks tackles. They're the ones that go through they can go up the seam. They can be used as a wide receiver back in the back end. So screen passes. How does that define the tripping call? Because this is going to be a call that's going to be used a lot this year because obviously the NFL saw a lot of it last year and it wasn't getting called. Josh Allen says Stefon Diggs' situation in minicamp was overblown. No reason to continue talking about it. Everything will be pushed under the rug if Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs starts the season off strong. The problem is the AFC East has gotten better. The Jets have gotten better. They're matched up on Monday Night Football in the first game of the season. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's in New York. Mm-hmm. You're going into a season where you're playing one of the top 5 defenses in the league last year. And the team that there's a lot of questions. Quentin Williams still is not signed. That's something that the Jets need to figure out soon, because if he's not signed, that's going to affect your defense moving forward. And also, the corner play last year was one of the best in the league. I mean, you had the 2 dynamic defensive cornerbacks last year in Sauce Gardner, who was ranked number 1 in the league, and DJ Reed, who was, I think, top 7, top 8 in the league. So, and then you had one of the better slot corners in Michael Carter last year. So the secondary is healthy. They look healthy as long as they play healthy during the preseason games and OTAs. The Jets are going to be positioned to be, and their safety play too. They added Amos. This is going to be a good secondary this year if they stay healthy. But there's a lot of questions with the Buffalo Bills going into the season. Are they as bad as they were in the second half of the season? Because they did not look good. They didn't. And Josh Allen didn't really look good since the Jet game when he hurt his arm. He wasn't the same player. He lost that game against Minnesota. He went into, obviously, he beat Miami, but Miami had a third-string quarterback playing, and that game wasn't a shoo-in. I mean, Miami could have won that game at one point. And they didn't even have Tua in that game. And then, obviously, going into a game with Cincinnati where a lot of people were questioning the game. You go into a home game, Buffalo, it snows, no excuses. You play in that cold weather all season long. Cincinnati, yes, it's cold in Cincinnati. It's not as cold as it is in Buffalo. And you would expect Buffalo to show up in the game, and it shows. And obviously, Leslie Frazier didn't think the defense played well because he stepped away from the team.